Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's class called Million Dollar Baby. I am so excited to share this concept with you, and I'm hoping that you will learn so much. I just wanted to say if you don't have a copy of the How Money Works book and would like a copy for free, please reach out to me as soon as this class ends, and I will get you a book sent out today. Also, if you have any questions about this concept or any other concepts that we've previously talked in other classes, please feel free to reach out to me as well after the call, and I would love to have a deeper conversation with you. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. So today we're going to go over the Million Dollar Baby strategy. It's a revolutionary new way for families to think about leaving a legacy to your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, or any of the children in your life that you care so much about. The Million Dollar Baby strategy was introduced in the best-selling book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. It's the first financial education book that anyone at any age and any learning level can enjoy and benefit from. This can be from the age of 10 all the way up to the age of 100 and everyone in between. And speaking of the number 100, the book has now been featured on over 100 prominent TV shows, including CNBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, and many others. Also, it's received a rare endorsement by the Heartland Financial Institute of Education. And, of course, it's all over the web. Please follow How Money Works on Instagram for weekly tips and practical ideas. All of this is part of an exciting mission to make the knowledge of how money works, that critical life skill that's not taught in schools, accessible to every family and every parent. Which brings us to our topic today. If there's about to be a new little one in your life, regardless of whether it's your child, your grandchild, or a new niece or nephew, you always want that child to have it better than you. That's natural. The example you're going to see today is an example of how to reimagine how parents and families can leave a legacy for their kids. It's a strategy that applies the power of compound interest and the time value of money in a way that makes the traditional end of life wealth transfer seem old fashioned and unnecessary. We call it the Million Dollar Baby. Think about it as one of the greatest gifts you can give to a child, a future. Million Dollar Baby is a common sense strategy that empowers families to create a legacy for their children without having to be wealthy. Would you have guessed that only 20% of children will receive an inheritance? It's probably even lower now because so many people have faced the challenges of 2020. In light of this sad statistic and our present reality, it is time to completely rethink how parents leave a legacy. So if you want to give your children $1 million at their retirement, which of these two options is more likely? You either give them $1 million in cash when they're adults and you've saved enough, or you can develop a plan to save a fraction of that amount for each child while they're young. We know how hard it is for retirement-aged parents to preserve an inheritance for adult children. With seniors living longer, almost all of their savings may be required to cover decades of expenses, including medical bills and long-term care. This new reality of longevity can remove the possibility of leaving an inheritance the old way. Since it is so hard to leave an inheritance today, why not use the greatest financial asset your child has? Time. They have an entire life of it. So what could the power of compounding do for your child over 67 years? Why don't we take a look? Million Dollar Baby leverages three simple money concepts: the power of compound interest, the time value of money, and wealth protection. This is one of my favorite quotes. Nelson Henderson said, "The true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit." So, could you use the money principles you've learned today to save $1 million for your child or grandchild, niece or nephew, or another child that you love and care for? It's way easier than you think. So these following examples are simply to illustrate how this is worked. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me after this and I can break it down a little bit more for you. In this example, Dana puts $13,000 aside one time and leaves it there from her daughter's birth until her daughter turns 67. It grows at 6.5% to a little over $1 million. However, if Dana waits until her daughter graduates from high school, her daughter will only receive about $300,000 when she turns 67. What a difference 18 years can make. Hector doesn't have $13,000 sitting around, but he still wants his son to retire with $1 million. He and his relatives can work together to save $2,500 now, and then just $250 each month for the next 4 years. Then, just like magic, they'll hit that goal too. His son will also retire with $1 million waiting for him. However, if Hector waits until his son turns 18 years old, it's the same story as if Dana had waited, much less, a little over $300,000 again. So we're currently developing a calculator that will allow you to play with the numbers to see what it might look like for you. In the meantime, your financial professional can help you decide. There are 250 children born every minute, and each could live a different life if their parents or grandparents, aunts and uncles did this for them when they were young. Now you see why we call this strategy $1 Million Baby. How appreciative would your kids be one day, perhaps when you're gone, that their parents thought about their future, knew how money works, and acted in love to take care of them? That's a thank you that could change your legacy forever. Sucker-minded people leave it all to chance. They may not consciously think it, but they're embracing a notion that sounds something like this. I hate to say it, but my kids will probably have to fend for themselves. They'll be lucky if I don't end up moving into their basement. The wealthy-minded think radically different. They realize what a dream come true it would be to give their children a financial advantage their kids could count on for the future. Their mindset sounds more like this: if there's an affordable way to set up my kids to be taken care of in the later years, my family and I will get it done. The sucker is resolved to accept limitations, and they don't know any other possibility. The wealthy, on the other hand, use the empowerment of education to do so much more for their families. And it's all a matter of knowing how money works and acting in when their children are young. So this brings us to the end of our presentation, and now you have an entirely new way to think about leaving a legacy for the children in your life. Instead of feeling regret at the end of our lives at how little we have to give, we only need to give a little at the beginning of their lives. And one day down the road, no matter how many mistakes they make along the way, they will still marvel at how much you were able to provide. I invite you to get together with your financial professional right away. Don't let another week go by. There are so many options and possibilities, no matter where you are with your personal finances, to put $1 Million Baby in place for your kids. A meeting with me can be scheduled right after today's presentation or in a few days. Thank you for taking the time for attending, and I hope to see you again very soon. Again, thank you so much for attending the $1 Million Baby class with me today. I hope you have learned so much. I will mention just one more time, if you would like a copy of the HowMoneyWorks book, please text me right after this class with your address and I will get you a book sent out. Also, if you have any questions, please also feel free to reach out and text me, and I would love to have a deeper conversation with you. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day.